Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we help you get up to speed on important topics fast.
Today's a bit different, focusing right on the now.
Exactly. This is our AI Daily Deep Dive. And here's the interesting part. This entire look at the top 5 AI news stories from today, Monday, May 12th, 2025, was researched and, well, generated entirely by AI.
So we're basically your human voices for what AI has identified as the key developments today. Quite meta, really.
It is. We've got 5 key stories that made headlines today in the AI world. Let's just dive straight in.
Okay, sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, the first one is pretty unusual. It's coming out of Greece. Apparently, a woman has started divorce proceedings, and the basis, an AI's interpretation of coffee grounds.
Wow, okay. Coffee grounds, like tasseography.
Yeah, exactly. But using AI. So the story goes, the wife took a photo of the sediment in her husband's coffee cup and fed it to OpenAI's ChatGPT for analysis.
Okay, I need to hear what ChatGPT supposedly found in the coffee sludge.
Right. Well, the AI allegedly reported the husband was fantasizing about a woman whose name starts with E.
An E.
Yeah.
That's specific.
Apparently so. And that he was, destined to have a relationship with her. But wait, there's more. The wife's own cup, according to the AI, showed she was having an ongoing affair and planned to destroy the family.
Whoa. So the AI implicated both of them in different ways. What did the husband say?
He basically dismissed it, called it nonsense. He also mentioned she's had a history of getting into various spiritual trends.
Okay, that adds some context. But the wife?
She took the AI reading very seriously, asked him to leave the house, told the kids they were getting divorced.
Just like that, based on the AI.
Seems so. He apparently refused a mutual separation, and then bam, 3 days later, he gets served with divorce papers.
Yikes. What about the legal angle? Surely an AI coffee ground reading doesn't hold up in court.
Well, his lawyers point exactly. They stated AI fortune-telling has zero legal standing and stressed the whole innocent until proven guilty thing. It also came out that the wife was heavily influenced by an astrologer in the past.
It really shows how people might, grab onto these new tools to find answers or maybe confirm suspicions, even in really unconventional ways.
Definitely someone on your watch. Okay, let's move to story number 2. This one's about AI deepfakes popping up more and more, often promoting, let's say, dubious products, especially on platforms like TikTok.
Ah, yes, this is a growing concern. The tech for creating these fakes has gotten so much better and, frankly, cheaper.
Exactly. There's this one example, a deepfake video described as a muscular, shirtless guy, but with a robotic voice holding this giant carrot.
A giant carrot. What was he promoting?
It was a sort of a euphemism. It was actually for a supplement claiming to, well, enlarge male genitalia.
Oh, right. Those kinds of claims.
Yeah, and the video made all these unverified statements about herbal ingredients, boosting testosterone, energy, the drill. Resemble AI, a company that detects this stuff, said it looked very likely AI generated.
And that's the problem, isn't it? Generative AI makes it so easy now to mass produce these kinds of videos. Almost no human oversight needed.
We're even seeing fake celebrity endorsements. There was a deep fake of Anthony Fauci supposedly pushing a prostate supplement.
Wow. Using a trusted public health figure like that is particularly insidious.
Totally. Abby Richards, who researches misinformation, called AI a useful tool for grifters, creating what she termed content slop. That feels about right.
It does. And Alexios Manzarlis pointed out a big increase in these AI doctor avatars on TikTok, pushing all sorts of questionable sexual health remedies.
So the real risk here is to consumer health, obviously, but also just trust online. It gets harder to know what or who to believe.
Absolutely. It's a major challenge for platforms and users alike.
Okay, third headline. This involves OpenAI again, but in a different context. They're pushing an initiative around democratic AI, and it's stirring up some debate.
Right. This was their OpenAI for Countries program, launched just last week, May 7th. The idea is to help nations build AI infrastructure that aligns with democratic principles.
And they've been quite open about working closely with the U.S. government on this.
Yes. CEO Sam Altman even testified before a U.S. Senate committee. He advocated for wider adoption of an American tech stack, basically framing it as a choice.
The choice between what?
Between democratic AI, which he positioned as U.S.-led, and autocratic AI, pointing towards places like China.
That kind of nationalistic framing, I imagine that got some reaction.
It did. Critics like Eileen Guo noted that policymakers, particularly in Europe, are actually starting to question their reliance on U.S. tech, maybe looking for other options.
And Marek Shaka also raised concerns, didn't she? Something about U.S. tech companies supporting certain administrations potentially harming international order.
Exactly. It complicates the narrative. What does democratic AI truly mean if it's so closely tied to one nation's interests and potentially controversial political actions?
Meanwhile, the U.S. government itself seems to be thinking along similar lines, talking about a potential tech NATO.
Yeah, and Senator Maria Cantwell suggested the top 5 tech nations should get together and set global AI standards.
But the worry there, I suppose, is that this kind of approach could sideline other countries, other technological ideas, and maybe stifle a more diverse global development of AI.
It's a complex geopolitical dimension to AI development for sure.
Okay, let's shift gears for our fourth story. This one comes from Forbes, and it argues that the next big leap for AI won't just be technical, it'll be emotional.
Interesting. So moving beyond just processing information to understanding feelings.
Sort of, yeah. The author Dan Gardner argues that while AI's technical skills are impressive, the really crucial next step is developing emotional intelligence, or EI.
Okay, so how does EI, which we usually talk about in humans, recognizing, understanding, managing emotions, translate to AI?
Well, it means building AI systems that can detect and, importantly, respond appropriately to human emotional cues. Think tone of voice, facial expressions, maybe even word choice.
I can see the potential benefits, like
Right.
in customer service, an AI that could genuinely sense frustration and respond with empathy.
Exactly. Or in healthcare, maybe an AI that picks up on subtle emotional shifts in patients. Education is another area mentioned.
But wow, human emotions are incredibly complex, aren't they? So subtle, so dependent on context, culture.
That's the huge challenge. Developing emotionally intelligent AI requires navigating all that complexity. You need enormous data sets, incredibly sophisticated algorithms.
And the ethical side must be massive too. Privacy, for
Yeah.
one, and the potential for manipulation if AI gets good at reading and influencing emotions.
Absolutely. The article stresses the need for collaboration, AI folks working with psychologists, neuroscientists, ethicists to tread carefully.
So the idea is it could make human AI interactions much richer, much more effective, but we have to be really careful how we build and deploy it.
Precisely. Okay, on to our fifth and final story for today. This one's from Entrepreneur, looking at how AI agents are changing the way we learn.
AI agents. So these are AI systems that can act more autonomously, powered by those large language models we hear so much about. How are they impacting learning?
Well, the main thing is personalization. These agents can figure out what you already know, what your learning style is, and then tailor educational content just for you. Think language learning apps adapting in real time.
Okay, so really individualized learning paths. That makes sense.
And it's not just for school kids. It's about lifelong learning, too, making it easier for anyone to pick up new skills or explore subjects whenever they want at their own pace.
I can see businesses liking this for workplace training as well.
Definitely. Organizations are using AI agents to create personalized training, spot skill gaps in their teams, and then suggest the right learning modules.
What about for the educators themselves? Does it help them?
The argument is yes. It can automate some of the grunt work, like grading or finding resources, freeing teachers up to give more one-on-one support and track student progress more effectively.
But there must be challenges here too, right? Like we discussed with emotional AI.
For sure. Data privacy is a big one, especially with student data. Algorithmic bias ensuring the AI doesn't disadvantage certain groups. And just the risk of becoming too reliant on the tech, maybe losing some human elements of teaching.
So it's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Using the tech effectively while keeping learning environments ethical and equitable. Requires ongoing checks and balances.
Exactly. The potential is there for AI agents to really reshape education, making it more personalized and efficient, but it needs careful management.
So that's our 5 for today. Quite a range.
It really is. From AI mediating or maybe interfering in a divorce to deceptive deepfakes, the geopolitics of democratic AI, the push for emotional intelligence in machines, and finally, AI agents transforming how we learn. All researched and pulled together by AI itself for this deep dive.
It certainly shows how fast AI is moving and how broadly it's starting to touch, well, almost everything.
It does. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. As AI gets better not just at processing information, but potentially at reading emotions, personalizing experiences, even influencing decisions, how might that change your own life, your interactions, and our society in the years ahead? What happens when AI isn't just smart, but maybe persuasive or even seems emotionally aware? Something to mull over.
Definitely food for thought.
That's all for this AI Daily Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.